G'day folks, Rod Moore from Moore Art School. Hope you're having a great day. I want to talk to you today about one of the things that has made a big difference in my painting, and it's something that doesn't get talked about a lot on YouTube, or I haven't heard a lot of artists actually talk about this one thing, but it is something that's been really important. First though, how do you like my hat? You have to wonder what I'm doing wearing a hat like this. I live in sunny Queensland, and it's a stinking hot day and it's always hot in the studio. Well, I bought this hat in York. Had to go back to the UK recently for a week. It was freezing cold in York, to the sort of north of England there. And my head was cold, so I bought this cap. I thought I'd make a really good artist cap as well. But unfortunately it's always too hot back home to wear it. So I thought I'd get it in for a few seconds on the video. Let's talk about one of the best things you can do if you're trying to learn how to paint, right? And that one thing is books. I've got tons of books. I just want to show you a couple of my favourites. But I've found that buying books has made a big difference in being able to study and learn how to paint. And it doesn't get talked about a lot by other artists and people on YouTube, artists on YouTube, but I never hear them mention it. So I thought it's an important way of really studying painting and getting inspiration as well. So I buy books that inspire me, so they're on the topic of my particular style that I love, which is what's called the Heidelberg School. I'll show you some books on that. And my favourite artists. So I buy instructional books from my favourite artists, and then books from exhibitions and things like that. And so I just thought I'd walk you through some of the ones that have been most important to me, and maybe if you can get a copy of them, not all of them are going to be that easy to get a hold of, but if you can, I'd recommend it if you like the sort of style that we teach here at Moore Art School. The first one is Seeley. Casey, I've done a couple of workshops with Casey, really great guy, but his book Paint Your Vision in Oils is absolutely fantastic. You can see he's signed it there for me, which is very good of him. But it really is a great educational book, goes through everything you need to know, colour mixing, photos, demonstrations, step by step, and some of his finer work as well. So if you get a chance to get a copy of Casey's book, Paint Your Vision in Oils, fantastic book. And Casey's one of the great landscape artists in Australia, on plein air painters. So another thing that I do to find these books is I go to secondhand bookshops, right? Especially in areas where there's people with money. Right, so if you're in an affluent area and there's a second-hand bookshop or a second-hand antique sort of store with a book section, I hunt around those whenever I can. So I found this book, Golden Summers, right, which is absolutely fantastic. This is the Heidelberg School, which is the particular genre of painting that I absolutely love. So if you've got one thing that you really love, look for books on that, right? I found this for a couple of bucks. I can't remember exactly how much, but it was in a $2 shop, like a second-hand shop. And it was from a gallery, an exhibition. It talks about all the different paintings and the history of those paintings and things like that. So, who's that? Charles Condor's paintings, right? So my favourite artists are all in this book from an exhibition. So I'll show you. It's got all the notes and the history of the paintings and so on. So that was a really good one for me to find. But the point is, have a look around your $2 shops and your second-hand bookshops, right? And then there are some great sort of instructional books. This one is Oil Painting with Light and Colour by Kevin McPherson. Fantastic book. It's one that I really got a lot of value out of. And what I wanted to show you in here was just little things like how to mix your colours, mix greys, earth colours, light and shade, right? All the sort of fundamental things you need to know. I've studied these in books like this, and I highly recommend it. I'm only going to show you a few of the books that I've got. I've got hundreds of them because I've become a bit of a collector, right? You should see my DVD collection, right? Richard Schmidt's A La Prima. This is for the person who wants to really master painting. It's quite an in-depth. I mean, Richard's a brilliant artist, but it's quite an in-depth study into painting, and I highly recommend that one. And again, I'm going to get back to finding books on the particular genre that you like. So this is a book that I found. I was in Ballarat, I was walking down the street and I passed a bookstore, and this book was in the window of the shop and they had like one copy of it, and I raced in, right? I literally raced in. Not that there's a huge demand for Heidelberg School books, but there was for me, right? So you just got to keep your eye open, and this is like the whole history of the Heidelberg School painting. Have a look at that. I don't know if the lighting's right there, but that is just an absolute ripper, right? That sort of sums up the style that I like painting. So look for books that you can get inspiration from, right, that are in this genre. Again, I've got favourite artists like Coley Wilson, his book Impressionist Painting Made Easy, another great book. Another favourite artist, Robert Hagen, so I've got all of Robert's books. I don't know if he's planning on bringing out any more, but you know, oh, there's another one. So I've got all of Robert's books, and so you've got to find that handful of artists that really resonate with you, that you know you can learn from, and you know, buy everything that they've got, their books, their DVDs, because that's the way you'll speed up your learning. Oh, here's another favourite Australian artist, John Wilson. I did a workshop with John recently, and you know, if you only pick up one thing at a workshop or from an artist that you admire and respect, if you only pick up one thing, then it's been worthwhile, because that one thing can take your painting forward into the future. So what I really got from the workshop with John was his use of a warm and a cool palette. So he mixes up a warm grey and a cool grey, and he uses that to get a whole lot of steps in value into his painting. So it gets a lot of depth and a lot of atmosphere into his painting. And I mean, John is just a world-class artist. So you know, I bought this at his workshop, so you can see he's signed it there for me, which is very good. John's an amazing chap. He has his own plane and he flies around Australia to his workshops. I mean, that's the way to do it, right? Get your own plane and fly around painting. I mean, have a look at this. You know, if that doesn't give you inspiration to want to learn to paint better and to improve your painting, then maybe painting's not for you, right? I mean, you know, that's the classic sort of Australian landscape scene. And that's what I sort of like painting, right? So you can see, if you've followed our videos, you'll see that influence there. And certainly not as good, but we're working on it, right? Every day is a work in progress. Let me show you. Nice little beach scene there, right? So, oh, and one other book. I bought this on eBay, and it's a prized part of my collection, because when I made the decision to start teaching art to beginners, people just starting out, you know, I always been the type of person to look for mentors, look for a guide, somebody who can help you to get started and get you on the right path. And so I came across Bill Alexander on YouTube, and that was what gave me the inspiration to start more art school. Bill was a TV artist who developed his approach to the wet on wet method, and Bob Ross became a student of his and went on to great fame and fortune, right? But I found this autobiography of Bill Alexander, and I found it on eBay. Fantastic book, and it, you know, it was part of the inspiration, what Bill did, part of the inspiration for more art school. So the point is that there's a lot to learn from books, and if you want to improve your painting, then go out and start collecting books. They don't have to be expensive. I mean, some of them are, but some of them, like, you know, this I bought for maybe 20 bucks on eBay. I showed you the other one I bought from a $2 shop or a secondhand bookstore. So there's lots of books out there. You just got to keep your eyes open and start becoming a collector, because they accumulate over time, and they've always got reference material to inspire you and to learn from. Okay, so that's a little tip for you for today, and subscribe to our channel, like our videos, leave a comment underneath. Tell me, what's your favourite book? You know, what's the best book you've ever bought for art, and leave a comment below. Look forward to chatting to you soon. Cheers.